Welcome to the show, everybody. Episode 396. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Susie.
What are you doing?
Just over here on another Lorraine County episode,
Well, I wanted to kick off the show talking about something cuckoo bonkers.
I love cuckoo bonkers.
I got a text message the other day from our brainiac, Christy, who I enjoy thoroughly, and we share a lot of the same interests in terms of entertainment. And she said, have you watched this documentary yet? And it was called Wrinkles, the Clown. Are you familiar?
My God, I heard about this, and I saw the preview for this. But I heard about it months ago, and I've been dying for this to come out.
I watched it on Amazon. I rented it. It's on like YouTube as well if you want to rent it. But, so I've noticed that this keeps happening where like I really want to talk about something, but I also want everyone to go see it. And so like I don't want to ruin it. So I'm not going to ruin it. But the essence is that there's this clown in Florida named Wrinkles who's an older, presumably older person who created a business in which he, like parents call him and ask for him and pay for him to terrorize their kids.
Oh my God.
Like if their kids are misbehaving, they'll be like, well, I'm going to call Wrinkles the Clown.
Oh my God.
And he will lurk out like outside your window or whatever. And part of what you probably saw in the trailer and made Wrinkles go viral was this video of, it kind of looked like a security camera footage, and there was a daybed and a girl sleeping on it. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Underneath the daybed, there's a drawer where the trundle is, and you're watching, and out pops this hand, and then slowly the drawer opens, and out comes Wrinkles the Clown, and the girl like stirs, and you're afraid she's going to wake up, and then he like places this stuffed thing next to her and then like puts his hand up to the security camera and then it goes black. And it's the creepiest thing you've ever seen and most troubling thing you've seen. And
why are parents thinking this is okay?
This is what I wanted to talk about. That part of the story is how, because they played throughout the film, they play a lot of voicemails that Wrinkles gets from parents. And in the background, you hear these kids screaming and crying. God. And sometimes they're just screaming and crying because they're acting out, and that's why the parents are calling. Sometimes they're screaming and crying because they're afraid of Wrinkles coming over. And so they even interviewed this one dad who's like, yeah, I don't think it's child abuse. It's better than like beating them.
What? A lot of things are better than beating them, but we don't do it.
Right. And then they interviewed this psychologist in LA, and he was describing the definition of abuse, and it absolutely fits into this. I mean, this is terrorizing your child.
Yes. Oh my gosh. In fact, yes, I have the DSM Diagnostic Statistical Manual with me. I could literally pull out of my bag, and I'm like, let's check out what it says under frickin' abuse. Abso-frickin-lutely. I would say it falls into emotional abuse.
Totally.
100% that's disgusting. What's wrong with people?
I understand, sometimes parents feel like they're out of options, or they can't think of what they could do to like effectively change their child's behavior. But let me just tell you, this ain't it.
No.
This is not the answer.
Nope. This is so gross. Child psychological abuse. I mean, for goodness sakes.
Right. And it
fits every single one.
Imagine being these kids.
Yep.
And Wrinkles is not attractive. Like, this is not a clown where you look at him and think, oh, I mean, this guy is, living in a van down by the river. And that for the first 45 minutes, we're shown this Wrinkles person, but like you don't see his face or anything. And he lives in like this camper and, is heating up like Hungry Man dinners and stuff.
Ew. It's like the stuff of nightmares.
Yes.
Oh my God, this is so gross. But like this really is child abuse.
Yes, I don't know how it's legal.
It shouldn't be. And you know what? Like, it's so funny because it's like what parents will do when they're just like desperate for like discipline. They need. Well, first it makes me wonder, what did their parents do to them where they make that where this is somehow better?
This is like a step up,
you know. But then like I think so. Like my mom, single mom, trying to do her best. Her kids are like out of control. Well, I mean, not all of us and not all the time, but you know, we were just kids. Yeah. And I think sometimes, you know, she got so frustrated. She used to always say like, she used to use the cops, and she'd be like, that's it. I'm taking you to the police station. And we would go to the police station, and she'd be like, tell them that they're wrong. And like basically used the cops for that. And
were you scared? Did you feel terrorized?
I have an intense fear of cops and like authority, like, cause I'm like, no, don't take us there. Like nothing ever happened. It would just like be this threat of like, and that was not terrifying. And that was like people who like, you know, were supposed to protect and serve. Don't, you know, question jury's out on that. But in theory. So, you know, that's a whole other topic. But what it did is it caused me to have this fear of like being like in trouble with the police. So I can imagine how terrifying, like what the effects of this are, the psychological effects.
This one kid who became kind of fixated on Wrinkles, he said that he had to remove his box spring and his bed frame.
Oh, yeah.
And had to just put his mattress on the floor because he was convinced that Wrinkles was going to be hiding under his bed. And this kid was like 12. I mean, he wasn't...
Yeah, I was going to say, this isn't going to go away his whole life. Forever. Right. I mean, I still like this weird fear of like monsters under my bed. I will absolutely admit that there are times when I'm alone where I'll like shut off the lights and then like run and jump in my bed so that the monsters like don't grab my legs. I still do that.
Wait, but you think it's a monster, not a human?
No, I mean like that's what I was scared of when I was a little kid. I mean, I don't think it's gonna. You know, now I probably am scared it's a human, but, you know, monsters, like, whatever. When you're little, it's a monster. When you're old, a monster is a human.
Yeah, because I still am like that, but I just think it's like a murderer, you know.
Right. You know, monster, murderer, potato. What's the difference?
Right. So it's really scary. And one of the things that was said was about how, you know, what's the big deal? This is essentially what we do with religion and the threat of hell.
Oh.
And I thought, ooh, now we're cooking with gas.
We are. Yes, we are. Because I remember my very religious and very incorrect and disturbed other side of the family grandparents.
Incorrect.
Yes, about a million things. Said to me when I was 6 years old, 6 or 7, that I was going to hell because I was baptized in the wrong church.
Oh.
And we're like very like... We're like, well, I'm sorry. I pray for your soul.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if that really was what determined who made the cut?
Oh, my God. And then my grandparents, who are supposed to love me and care for me, are like, we'll be waving at you from heaven. Wish you were here. They'll send me, we'll send you postcards. No. Hope they don't burn up in flames.
Well, these are people who are well-meaning. You know, in theory, this is a well-meaning thing. If you really did believe in eternal damnation,
right,
then you would want to prevent your child from enduring it.
Yeah.
But,
oh my God. But that's different. Is it though? Ugh.
It's kind of the same, really.
But those parents don't like believe that that there's like a consequence, like you're like there. I don't know. Ew, you're right. That gets weird.
Even if we're not talking about religion, this is what we do with Santa.
That was what came to my mind too. And like how every parent is totally using that as like, he's watching you.
I mean, granted, it's not like Santa's going to kick your ass, but...
Right. But he will maybe not give you toys. And when you're a little kid,
But this is terror.
No, this is inflicting terror. This is because that's the thing that it causes like the examples of psychological abuse of a child include berating, disparaging, humiliating the child, threatening the child, harming, abandoning, or indicating that the alleged offender will harm, abandon, or people or things the child cares about, confining the child, egregious scapegoating, coercing the child to inflict pain on him or herself, disciplining the child excessively, or through physical or non-physical means. Yeah, that pretty much covers that. check.
It really does. Another thing I found interesting was after the video of the security camera thing went viral, this is how Wrinkles makes his living. So his phone number is available. So then it became this weird mythology and urban legend type thing where then kids, teenagers and stuff would call the number to see if Wrinkles would answer.
Yeah.
One of those deals. And so it was fascinating to see how the tables turned, and then he was the one being terrorized by all these teenagers and stuff, constantly calling him.
That's what you get.
That's what you get.
Yeah.
Right. But I want people to watch the damn thing so we can talk about it, because there's a big twist in it.
Oh, I love a twist.
Yeah,
I have been waiting for this documentary to come out for a long time.
You got to watch. You'll be into it.
Yes, and that just reminds me of that picture of you as a kid
with that fucked up clown
who absolutely, I mean, like that. Ew. I have this is going to be gross. Trigger warning. I have this visual in my head of him on this disgusting like recliner chair in like a trailer, taking care of business with his clown suit still on. Some like
taking
gross
care of business.
Yeah, like
criminy,
nasty. Try to make that sound as not gross as it is in my head out loud.
I'll tell you what isn't gross is when you have a bra that fits properly.
Oh my God, I got a new set, Suze, and I got matchy. It's
Tell me
so
what you
freaking
bought.
cute. I got the lace. There's like a lace. Oh, what is it called? It's beautiful. It's like lace bra, and then I got the matching undies for it, and it's like this beautiful gray color.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think I got something similar, but I got mine in it's kind of like an eggplant or like a purplish.
Oh, beautiful.
Really
but
pretty.
I got the thumbs up from Ren for sure.
They're so nice.
Yes. And he even asked, he's like, "Is that comfortable?" And I was like, "Yes,
you asked.
So comfortable. Thanks for asking, because isn't it beautiful and gorgeous?"
It's so great. They have over 80 bra sizes. They definitely have one that fits you. They even have half sizes. And they do the perfect fit promise. So you have 60 days to wash it and wear it. If you don't love it, you can return it for free, no problemo. And they donate all their gently used bras to women in need, so everybody's happy. You take a little Fit Finder quiz to find out what your actual size is, because you're probably wearing the wrong one. They're comfortable, they're high quality, they're tagless. Third Love knows there's a perfect bra for everyone. So right now, they're offering our listeners 15% off your first order. Go to thirdlove.com/brain now to find your perfect fitting bra and get 15% off your first purchase. That's the thirdlove.com/brain for 15% off today.
Yes.
I'll never wear another brand ever.
Me either. It's so beautiful. I love it.
Yes. Yeah, watch the Wrinkles the Clown thing, and so we can talk about it.
I can't wait. And you've just given me so many good documentaries in the
I
recent.
know, I've been on a roll.
Yeah, you really have. So, so
okay.
good.
So next on my list, I was thinking about it because last time on the last episode you were talking about food and food waste and stuff like that.
Yes.
And you reminded me of this article that I read in the New York Times, and it was talking about, how you'll often hear people criticizing low-income people when they are also overweight, sort of being like, how much of a problem could you have if you're eating enough to be overweight, that kind of thing.
God, but that's so backwards, yeah.
It's so backwards for a million reasons, but this article was about the hidden cost of giving kids their vegetables. So it was talking in particular about parenting. So, like, if you are a person that's on government assistance and you have, or even like a fixed income, you have a certain amount of money you can spend each month on food. And with a lot of vegetables especially, it takes a long time and many, many meals before kids will tolerate it. And so they end up wasting it for a very long time before they'll end up, relenting and then developing a taste for it. And people with low income or that are on government assistance, they can't afford to waste food to develop this kid's palate. Right?
Totally.
And so they end up just buying what they know their kid will eat, and I totally get it.
Yep, absolutely. That totally makes sense.
It just gave me more of an understanding about like the mindset that you have to have about like, okay, I have this much money. I have to make this many meals. What are you going to do? You're going to buy the crap they're going to throw in the garbage? Probably not.
And let's even take it one step further of like time and like that whole process of teaching a child to like, no, this is what we have, this is what you're going to eat. Like, is great if you have all the time in the world to like, what's the schedule look like? What are we trying to get done in a day? When are these meals taking place? Is mom like rushing from, one job to the next? Is it like, no, you got to eat right now because like, whatever, who knows? I just feel like it's a very, like the kids who just have to sit there at the table for 2 hours and stare at their Brussels sprouts and all that stuff is like nice if, there's nothing else going on. But
yeah, and it's a privilege that people without money struggles wouldn't think about. Like,
right.
You have them take a bite, and then after like 15 of those meals where they took one bite, then maybe they will be okay with it.
Right.
Like you're fine with the waste because you have a thing going on. Like, okay, there's a bigger goal at the end.
Yes.
But like you can't do that if you got no money.
Right. Absolutely. And then you see that waste, and it's like, no, I can't be getting things. I have to get the thing that's my kid. I know my kids are going to eat, that they're going to eat, right then. And, then like it can't turn into a whole, like additional stressor. Basically, it becomes an additional stressor. And can you put, for lack of a better term, like more on this, whoever the parent is, their plate?
Well, I told you my mom's motto with child rearing is, he'll live. Like,
yeah, right?
That's fine.
Gosh.
Because the stress, as you're pointing out, the stress can be paralyzing in a way.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to do it all right.
Right.
But I thought that was interesting. And remember a long, long time ago on the show, we talked about how at some farmers markets, your what's the actual name for government assistance? Food stamps or
but there's like another name for it. This is such a name. Look at how we don't know what this is. That EBT.
Oh yeah, that rings a bell. But my family had WIC, which is similar, but whatever they give you now, because I think they keep changing it, and that's part of why we don't know the name, but you get double the value at some farmers markets.
That's so great.
Which I hope that's true, because that's really cool.
Yeah, but then, of course, they have to live in a place where there's a farmer's market.
Well, that's true.
And so we know that there are food deserts where that's not even a possibility.
Yeah. It's a bummer. Everything's set up to screw the little guy.
Oh, my gosh.
And people we got the results of our poll back, and almost 80% prefer when we're silly, so I'm really screwing this up today.
And last episode, I was all serious about saving the planet and animals and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? Tomatoes scream, so there you go.
Yeah. But I just think it's helpful to be reminded of what people are experiencing who may not be in the exact same situation you are, and I don't know.
No, it's a good one. It's important to think about. And it's like so backwards. We have to like change that, like, what is it, implicit bias, or like that thought, of like, because it's a big difference between the quality of and quantity, all that stuff. So
I was also reading about have you ever thought about how the heck they determine how many calories are in a piece of food?
I feel like I know it has something to do with like a calorie is like how much determined by the energy that the food has to turn into something. And there's something about like heat. I don't know.
Yeah, I get that, but like if you're looking at a bagel, how the hell do they know?
Yeah, joke, and I'm sure it's all wrong.
Right, that's what this article is about. It was that I was talking about how that science is imprecise and very difficult to ascertain the answers. And so, like, recently they had to change the number of calories that a handful of almonds is. It's lower than they thought, which is, hey, that's great.
Thank goodness, because I was just having this conversation with somebody about how almonds, like, in certain like food apps are like deceivingly like high, and it's like no, but they're like good, and I don't know, it's like that one always throws things off for some reason.
Yeah, the almonds are always like one nut is 500 calories.
Right.
They're like, but it's so good true. Fat.
Right. That's so funny. This seems like a conversation that is popping up all over the place.
Well, because I guess on some of
it.
I think it was those Kind bars.
Yes,
they had changed their calories, even though the ingredients stayed the same. And they said it was in response to these new studies that showed that nuts had fewer calories than they had suspected earlier. And it was kind of, I mean, we're poop enthusiasts over here, so this is in keeping with our brand. But
we sure are.
They had 2,000 people poop and pee and then put it in dry ice. All of it, not just like a little sample, like all their
BM. Oh my God, okay.
And bring it in. And then they had them eating nuts all the damn day. And then they analyzed their poop and checked how much was in there.
Oh my gosh, this makes so much sense.
Right?
Dude.
It's so great.
This is, I mean, it's like...
Sarah.
It's gross, but this is important.
It's cool.
Research.
It's
and
gross.
really interesting and totally makes sense.
Yes, I love it.
So the majority of the nut isn't digested, therefore not giving us every single bit of like caloric.
Well, and here's another thing. Basically, and this stands to reason, but I never thought of it this way, that if the nuts are cooked, then it's more calories because something about the cooking process causes those to become absorbable in a different way. And then when they're ground up, they are almost completely digestible, so there's even more calories when they're ground up. Who knew?
Yeah.
Like like almond butter or peanut butter would have. Yeah.
That's so really smart. Interesting.
Is. And it's sort of like, I don't know. I think a lot of people get frustrated counting calories because it's overwhelming. Yeah. And then to think that it's also inaccurate would probably really upset them.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Oh my gosh. But I think a lot of those counting calories programs and things like that are good to just help people get in the habit of what a portion size looks like, you know, things like that. So then you can take that, and once you've like developed those habits, then you can kind of like, you know, change up the food that maybe you're eating with it and stuff like that. But those similar habits kind of stay fixed. Of like a smaller portion size and whatever it is. But, you know, if it's a difference, like if you're, you know, it can't be that big of a swing. We're not talking a difference of like hundreds of calories, right?
No, but it's, you know,
but enough over time.
Yeah, like over a week, you might have consumed more, like 1,000 more or fewer calories than you had thought.
Yes.
But whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and like, well, you know what? I love it. And you know what? Like, I now wonder, like, I'm going here because this is what we do on the podcast and when we talk about poo. Like, are we not absorbing as much fiber from corn as we think then?
That's what I thought the same thing.
I was like, now I want to know about everything else that comes out in the other direction.
Free?
It's like, you're right. I'm like, bring on the popcorn. Give me everything. Like, if it's just, you know.
You know what? Yes, I think you're right. That makes total sense.
It would, right? I'm kind of into it. I'm making a lot of homemade popcorn recently.
So have we. Lincoln's on a real roll with that.
So is Ren, because he had never seen popcorn made at home before. And when he did, it was like showing what I assume it would be like showing Lincoln. He was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And we like wait for the first kernel to pop. And it's like super fun. It's so fun. We're like kids. So.
I really don't know why people buy the bag kind. You can just pop it real easy at home.
Yeah, and I hear there's a whole bunch of chemicals in there.
Oh my God. Okay,
in fact, you know how they say like the vape smoking and gives people what they call popcorn lung, which is like, and it's from inhaling a chemical that is and they call it that because it's the same chemical that is used in popcorn, like at the factories where microwavable popcorn is made, and the factory workers there from inhaling those chemicals develop that.
What?
Yes, so that's where, well, at least an article I read about the harms of that.
Oh, we're all doomed.
Yeah, pretty much. So like people poison, I guess.
That's terrible news. What's good news is that you can know what the heck is going on with your body thanks to modern fertility.
Yes.
This is a service I love. You guys need to do this. I cannot recommend it enough because I just can't believe that they were able to create the technology that you can take this little test, send it. I feel like there's an earthquake going on. Just mark my words.
Really?
If there was, just, you know, if there ends up being one, Susie knew it. Or I'm just like, I got the shakes. Well, maybe Modern Fertility could check on that for me, because you take a little test, you send it off, and then they send you your results. They're like, here's how fertile you are. Here's what's going on with your eggs. Here, if you have PCOS or whatever, they can tell you that and notify you. So if you're thinking about getting pregnant or not, this is a great way to know what the heck is going on with your hormone levels and reproductive issues you may be having. Yes. And it's so affordable. Traditionally, this is something that would cost over $1,000 at like your doctor's office, but they'll do it for $159 for the same information. Come on.
Yes.
Right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/braincandy. So that means your test will only cost $139 instead of the hundreds or thousands it would cost you at the doctor's office. Get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/braincandy, modernfertility.com/braincandy.
Yes.
It was so easy to do. You will love it. Yeah. And apparently, there's still hope for me.
I love that. I think you should just still try. What is?
I know. Adam said that.
Oh my God! Yes.
He was like, "We should have another baby." I'm like, "Do you mean make a baby or adopt a baby?" And he was like, "Either."
Oh my God!
Who knows? Maybe I'll see what happens with you, and then I'll copy you.
Oh, I love that. It's probably contagious. I hear that.
It's contagious. Okay, moving on. What do I want to talk about? People. Oh, this you'll love. People who quit Facebook were happier.
Well, duh.
And this was the number.
Is it
that
like the not interacting with relatives thing, or what's going on there?
I mean, I think there's a lot of comparisons that people make.
Oh, for sure.
Some people call it fake book because everyone's phony baloney and pretends their life is great.
Totally.
Although I will say I totally enjoy when there's the oversharer who reveals all the terrible things about their life. And they're usually not self-aware. They don't even know they're doing it. And it cracks me up.
Does somebody pop into your head of people?
Lots of people.
Man, maybe it's because I'm not on there that I don't really see it. I just go on there every now and then. Sometimes to go through the brain candy crush,
Facebook. Yeah, see what everybody's got cooking.
Yeah.
And believe me, I'm not on Facebook apart from Brain Candy either, but those oversharers were the highlight of my life when I was on it all the time because they would just air their dirty laundry, if they were having a fight with their spouse or whatever.
Right. But maybe, yeah.
This said, though, go ahead.
No, I'm just I wonder, if it makes those people who are not self-aware feel better and then the people who are self-aware just, feel worse.
Maybe. I do know that people, it drains your soul. It's not uplifting. It doesn't make you feel like you're a part of the magic of the world. It feels like the worst part of the world, to me.
Yeah, to me too.
Yeah. But people have trouble quitting it for some reason.
I mean, I do think it's all about balance, though, because I know that there are people who have, gotten a lot of, help from those supportive Facebook groups. It's really just the pages and the posting and comparing. And I don't know. I think you just have to have balance.
I mean, I
be able to
have
step
heard
out
that
of that world.
Groups,
I don't know. Yes.
Yeah, people love them. And I do love our Brain Candy group. And they are generally really lovely and supportive of each other, which I find heartening. Yeah. But there can be pile-ons there, too, though,
Absolutely. And you know what I was thinking, too, is an internet group is never a substitution for a real meeting of humans. And I think when we try to do that, there are yes, there are good that come from those things, but it's not better than or a substitution for.
Oh my God, listen to this. I read this and it is a total downer and we are not being silly and I promise I will improve. But this was in the New York Times, this lady, this dumbass mom who her whole family came down with a really severe flu virus and she had gone to the doctor and they gave her a prescription and she went on one of those GD anti-vax groups and told them and they were like, don't give them the medicine, take fucking lavender or whatever the hell, essential oil.
Yeah.
And that kid passed away.
I hate it.
It's terrible.
I really do. And in fact, there was somebody, one of our listeners who did contact me and was like, I don't think you know everything about check out this article. And she said, check out this article, but then it just linked me to like a Facebook group.
Oh, no.
And I was like, this isn't an article. None of this is actual factual material that can be backed up. And if people think it is, you're incorrect.
Oh.
It's really scary. And it's not, people don't know the truth. And especially, that was I did research on that exact article that came out about vaccines and like that study and everything and how bullshit it is and how it was debunked and he was thrown out of medical license stripped and blah, 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 blah. And it's like people just don't know, and it's really dangerous. Like, misinformation is so dangerous.
Well, and then last time we talked about the anti-vax thing, somebody...
What? Yep.
Somebody... Did you know about this?
No.
Somebody in our Brain Candy Crush who... I don't know if she considers herself anti-vax, but she hasn't had her kid vaccinated, and she was talking about it in our group, and our group doesn't handle that very well.
Right.
And so she got booted from the group, and then she messaged me, and I felt really bad because I don't want anyone to get like excommunicated.
Right.
But I did say maybe you could come on the show sometime because not that I don't want to amplify that point of view. So that's why I'm torn about it. But I did love episode 5 when we interviewed the non-feminist woman because that was really interesting and weird.
Yes.
But what do you think? Would this serve the purpose of amplifying?
Yes, I think so, because I think it would be... No, not amplifying. I think it would be a good idea to have somebody on because I'm curious to know where, like, the source is and like, why there's a confidence in certain information and a disbelief in others. Because, like, the more... involved I get, like, in specific research and learn about people who are, like... And even in wanting to do my own, like, people who go into researching a specific field usually have a personal story about it. Like, there was something we talked about a long time ago about how, like, people who are part of, like, the weather team, and, like, meteorologists, and how, like, they all have a story about why they became that because they, like, survived some storm or their family went blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
And so, like, I think somebody who's doing research on vaccines and, they're linked, like, they care about that. So why do you think, like, why a lot of these people think, like, oh, it's like the medical community trying to, like, hide information from us? And
I really loved Joel Stein's book, In Defense of Elitism, because he does such a good job of describing that phenomenon where certain groups have grown very distrustful of the medical community, authorities in general, scholars, education, for a variety of reasons, and he helps to unpack what's at the core.
And some of them I really do understand. Like, I really understand the African American community's mistrust and of the medical community, or distrust in the medical community, because they absolutely were screwed and victims of that 100%.
Yeah.
But, like, I look at, like, a middle to upper class mom, like, with, and this is just, you choose it, like, to follow, what's her name, who's kind of started this whole thing, Jenny McCarthy, or, like, it just seems different than
I said this on the last time that we talked about it, and I still believe it. These are people who really want what's best for their kids. And that's
true.
What I have to always remind myself, that talk about good intentions. I mean, they really believe that this could save their child's life. So I understand why it happens.
But I really just know that the people who are, like, devoting their life to researching, the like, developing new vaccines and making sure people are vaccinated, like, care about this, like, these are, like, I don't know, like, people like me who are, like, care and want things to not be bad. So they're devoting their life to researching it, not devoting their life to, manipulating the population and whatever. Like, I don't know. I feel like that maybe exists some places, but I feel like most people who are in research in the medical world really care.
Yeah.
Like, developing cures for cancer because their family... a family member died of that or something.
I've talked to our pediatrician about the vaccine thing, and he was talking about how, he actually barely breaks even and sometimes loses money on vaccines because they're not like a big moneymaker. In fact, if you get sick, if you're not vaccinated and get sick, he would make way more money off of treating you.
Right.
So I get it, but it's like, it's a sad thing. Maybe we'll have her on the show to talk about it. We'll see. But
interesting.
Technology that I do love is Hubble, their contacts, and the system they have set up to get you the contacts that you need right to your door without the huge markup. I know this is a big thing for people. I got my nephew Grant to sign up for Hubble because...
Oh, right. I remember this.
Yeah, he always would complain about how costly it is to wear contacts. And so I got him hooked up with Hubble, and he is loving it because it's super easy. You just put your prescription in online, go get your test, get your info, and then you put it in there, and it'll deliver it right to your door. So it's easy to sign up. There's no stress or hassle to start the subscription. And they're so affordable. So, contacts are expensive because there are like 4 companies that control 95% of the market. So they came in and disrupted all of that. If you want daily contacts at a price you can afford, visit HubbleContacts.com. You'll get 2 weeks of daily lenses shipped straight to your door for just $1. That's 30 contacts for just $1. What are you waiting for? Make 2020 the year you start seeing 2020 and stop overpaying for contacts. Start seeing the savings when you sign up at HubbleContacts.com. That's HubbleContacts.com. And don't forget to select our show in the post-checkout survey. Guys, that would help us so much if you did that.
Yeah, man.
Any hoodles. So that was another downer. I'm really on a roll today.
Oh,
I had told you last week, I think it was, about how I wanted to talk to you about the story of the Aerosmith drummer, and I never got around to it. So now's the time.
Yeah.
So apparently for the Grammys, Aerosmith was performing, or maybe they were being honored, like a lifetime achievement type of dealie. Mm-hmm. And for a while, the drummer had been out. I think he had surgery. And then when he was ready to come back, they made him audition.
Oh, my God. That's
okay,
funny.
So that's the first thing. And so let's start there.
Like, I want to know who... Is it Steven Tyler? Like, who's like...
I don't know, like, who's
I need to see him audition. I forgot how well he plays.
So, and I also don't know what the surgery was. So maybe it was something that could affect drumming.
Yeah, if it's rotator cuff, maybe you would want to see, like, if it's his wrist... Let's see a little bit of that action.
Yeah, so maybe that's why. Because at first blush, I was like, well, that's rude. But then I thought, okay, well, maybe it had to do with what the surgery was, and so they needed to know that he could, in fact, perform.
But didn't Van Halen keep a drummer and he only had one? He lost an arm?
It was not Van Halen. It was Def Leppard.
Def Leppard.
That's hilarious.
Def Leppard. I mean, come on. Like, this is like the music genre I know the least about next to country.
No, I'm impressed. I'm impressed that you even know that, but it's still funny.
I just remember a joke a long time ago I heard, like, what band has 8 arms or something like 9 arms and sucks? Or what has 9 arms and sucks? And you want to say, like, an octopus? And you're like, no, Def Leppard or something like that.
That's terrible, Sarah.
I didn't write that joke.
Okay.
It's not me saying. Okay, anyways, back to Aerosmith drumming.
Okay, so they made him audition, and then they were like, no, you're not good enough.
Oh, my gosh.
So then they wouldn't let him perform at the Grammys, so he sued them. And they were like, listen, we love this guy, and he's welcome to walk the red carpet with us and, like, be a part of the band, but, like, he's just not good enough for the performance. What do you think of this?
It must have been something. I mean, in a way that's maybe fair. If he was like injured and had surgery and he didn't perform at
it just seems like he would know if he couldn't do it. Like if he were,
but, and then I also think I'm like Steven Tyler sounds different. His voice has aged, so like they're not kicking him out because he's like doesn't sound as good as he did when he was younger.
Right. Yeah, what's the bar here? What are we comparing it to? Your peak moment? Or just like good enough?
I want to know now. And I'm like, how much did he suck?
But the judge found in favor of Aerosmith, not the drummer, so he was shut out.
He must have really sucked. What if all they did in there was they just played the recording of it? They're just like, here you go, click.
Yeah,
and the judge was like, case closed, dismissed.
Right.
Right? Oh, that's so funny.
That's the opposite of sweet emotion, apparently.
You know, little fun fact, my mom, Sally, shout out to Sally, did the wardrobe in Aerosmith's music video, Love in an Elevator.
Wow.
Yes.
Get out of here.
She says Steven Tyler's the worst.
Why?
She just doesn't like him.
What did he do, though?
I don't know. I think she just said he was rude. We'll have to ask her. We should have her on here. We should just cold call Sally.
I swear, I have been thinking about that because I did an interview.
She'll give you gold every time.
Yeah, it's never a disappointment. And I interviewed Link the other day, and I'm going to put it up on Patreon because...
Oh, my God, how fun!
It's adorable, Sarah. I'm biased,
we have to interview Sally on Patreon.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I want to talk to Peg.
Oh, everybody. And anybody who gets, like, a shout-out on here, on the regs. We should do that. Because it would be
hilarious.
And you know, oh, my God, my mom will just, like, we won't get 2 words in. I don't know if I want this because maybe I'll get fired and you'll have a new co-host.
No, you know what? She's been on before, and it was great, and I think she can handle it.
Oh, yeah. She can definitely handle it.
Yeah, we'll have to call her and get the scoop on why Steven Tyler is the worst. I did not see that coming in this episode.
We can also have her, maybe she has some info on whether you will get pregnant again.
Oh, okay. Well, what does she say about you?
She says that my grandma has come to her and said Easter. So I don't know if it's Easter, when this Easter is going to be, but she says there's some baby things happening around Easter.
That's
so
fun.
We'll see. Maybe Easter next year, the year after. Who knows?
Yeah. He is risen. Maybe you're going to give birth to the Lord, the third coming.
You know what? I have said, Bren, at the very least, we're looking at a senator here between our genetics.
Senator.
Very least. President, probably. But minimum, we're getting a senator.
Oh, my God. What was I watching last night? Oh, the Oscars. And the guy said, my wife quit her job so that, I could have this career. He was thanking her. It was lovely. And he was like, she raised our children, and neither of them became politicians, so we did
right,
okay.
I saw that. That was so funny.
So when you say senator now, I'm like, wait, is that good or bad?
It's good because they'll be like fighting for the right things. I mean, come on, with both of us as parents, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
By the way,
then, yes.
Go.
Continue.
I'm sorry.
Well, no, this was like an aside. But then Ren's 23andMe results said that he does have the body composition of an elite athlete. And mine said that I do not. So I'm really hoping that those elite athlete genes pull through and, we've got like
what are the criteria for that?
They just look at like your muscle tone, like it just says that you have a body it'll say either you have a body composition similar to elite athletes or you do not have a body composition. And I was like, oh, mine says that I'm cheering from the crowd.
Oh, that's all right.
Sit in the bench. But hey, I did pretty well for somebody who has a body that's not that of an elite athlete. I think I did pretty well on those challenges.
That's going to be like on my tombstone is like, you did pretty well with what you had.
That's exactly how I felt. I was like, hey, pretty good. Considering I'm fighting an uphill battle over here.
Right. We're not born for this.
I'm not built for this. Literally. Not built for this. So, I'm just like hoping that those are recessive traits.
Yeah, I think that's wrong, though, anyway. I think that's incorrect because you're very athletic. Thanks. I don't know what they're talking about.
Did they take into consideration, what did I always say I feel like I would be good at? Downhill bobsledding? Did they put luge in there? I bet they did not. Look at the body composition of those gals.
And remember how you won that thing where you had to hold your breath?
Yeah.
Like, that to me seems like Lance Armstrong type of lung magic.
Thanks,
yeah.
It's probably just from smoking weed, but
That does not improve your lung capacity.
I think it does.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. It probably doesn't. Just strengthen my lungs over time. No, I'm totally kidding. That's not what happened. It's because I swam when I was little.
Oh, okay.
It's because I was a swimmer forever.
Well, and they're not taking into account in that whatever science that you're so stubborn. Because remember, you put that brick on you or whatever. And they were like,
yes.
You're taking on water. You have to go up.
They're like, you're good. You're close to drowning. You're going to develop pneumonia taking in this freezing cold water. Please get up.
Because to me, that's so much of what athleticism is just grit.
Suze, you're so nice. Thank you. Well,
because I know I don't have it. I'm like, fuck it, I'm done.
Well, now we're looking at all-star athlete and a senator. Man,
I mean, you're incredible.
Definitely full ride scholarship there.
I should add, by the way, I forgot to say when we were talking about Facebook, that the benefits of quitting were about 25 to 40% of the benefit you get from psychotherapy.
Wow.
So that's pretty awesome.
So if you did psychotherapy and quit Facebook, you'd be looking pretty good.
Really? And I bet you there is a strong overlap there because you learn like the behaviors that are contributing to your pain.
Oh, that's really good.
Do your patients, I don't know what you can say or not, but do your clients ever talk about Facebook? Does it come up a lot?
No, I have not had, I think more than anything, and this has been just a kind of like a general feel that I get, especially from working in Orange County, that there's societal pressures that are really felt and that those can be like exacerbated or even like amplified by social media. And it's for men and women.
Yes.
It's different, but it really is a thing.
And it's about like the way you look and how successful you are, stuff like that.
Yeah. And expectations versus reality, and kind of like comparing yourselves to others, and just almost like this everybody has to be like camera ready all the time, and that's not reality.
Yeah, it sucks.
You know?
All right. Well, that's good. I'm glad we established all that. That our lives are terrible.
You've heard it here, folks.
Everything's terrible, and there's nothing we can do about it. The end.
Yes. Oh, my God.
I did read a great article in Atlantic by our friend Derek Thompson, who wrote, I think, The Hitmakers. And he's just a great...
Oh, I love that book.
He's so cool. And he wrote an article about the history of the bathroom in American homes. It was so interesting because you know how...
I think I read this.
Did you?
About how there are more in America than everywhere. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Did you think it was interesting?
Totally interesting.
Yeah,
and at first when I read it, I was like, how much can there be about this? And then when I clicked it, and I was like, whoa!
Yes.
This is a whole bunch on this.
I get really excited when something totally pedestrian can represent something bigger in culture. And that's what this was. It was like, it wasn't about bathrooms really. It was about how our lives have changed, and then they're a reflection of that.
Yeah, so tell me some of the highlights.
Well, so it was saying how we used to not have very many bathrooms in our homes, and now we have like a gazillion. Mm-hmm. And it was just talking about like how early on there was sort of like the toilet room, and which I forget the name of that. I think it had some sort of name. And then like the washroom where you would do your bath and all that stuff. And then there was a change to the 3-fixture bathroom, and that was just due to like keeping the water pipes all in one place because people thought it was disgusting and that's where germs were coming through the pipes. They thought like that's why everyone was getting sick, was from just indoor plumbing. Wow. And so instead of getting rid of it, they were like, well, let's just put it all in one room. And then
interesting. When really that's even more like...
I mean, really, if you think about it, it's pretty gross.
Yeah, because there was like that whole Mythbusters about how when you flush the toilet, it like poo particles go everywhere if the toilet seat's not closed, and if your toothbrush is in the same room, there's definitely poo particles on your toothbrush.
Yeah, and like that doesn't bother me, but my mother-in-law is really hung up on that, so she will not even flush the toilet until the lid is down. Yeah,
I'm kind of into that too.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I couldn't be bothered. Whatever.
I know that's totally true, also, but I'm like, ugh. I suppose if, we make the guys put the toilet seat down every time, I suppose I could close it.
And it was just talking about how, like, it was basically seen as a cesspool, as I said, where germs went to live. And then now it's developed into what he called a human car wash. And that it's become, this place of pampering, really.
Yes.
And he said in the world of constant connection, the biggest luxury is now seclusion.
Oh my God.
And like being so alone. True. And I definitely know this is true as a mother. That is my favorite place.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. Oh, my mom used to read us this book. It's so cute when we were little. It was called 5 Minutes Peace, and it was about an elephant family. And the mom elephant just wants to take a bath, and she goes in the bathroom and shuts the door and like puts the bath together. And in walks the little baby elephant who's like, "Can I show you this thing that I just made?" And the mom's like, "Ugh, 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes peace."
Yes.
And like pushes him out. And every single time that another baby elephant comes in and is like, I did this. Can I show you that? I just learned this song on the kazoo. Can I show you? And she's like, "I just need 5 minutes peace." And then at the end, she finally gets her 5 minutes peace. And then she like looks around. She's like, I miss them. And she opens the door and they're all like piled outside. And so then they all get in the bathtub with her. And she's like, I guess, like, ugh, whatever.
Yeah, you have to surrender because you're probably not going to get the peace.
And it's just the cutest book. And, but she would always, it's like, that's what my mom would say when she goes in the bathroom. She's like, "I'm going to get my 5 minutes peace." And we all knew what that meant because she like primed us with this book of like, don't go in there.
Leave me alone.
Yep. And that the bathroom is the sanctuary.
And you're very good about not taking your phone in the bathroom because you say it's gross, right?
It's super gross. I don't like it. I'll never use my phone in the toilet. Blech, nasty.
So you're just sitting there making BMs all by yourself without your phone.
I'm pretty speedy, but you know what? It's funny is I print a lot of articles for the podcast, and I read them in printed form on pieces of paper on the toilet. Then I just toss them when I'm done. Not just because of the bathroom, but like I just like. Because I don't want my phone in there. I don't know. It's just weird.
So a lot of your brain candy prep is done over BM.
The reading. Well, yeah. And I like, or I have them all together. I like staple them and I like read them while I'm in the bathtub.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like the stack and like, But I used to have a trivia book that I had in the bathroom for a long time that Allie gave me. Shout out to Allie. Yeah, so I like learn things. I do like it. I do enjoy the throne for that.
I do not like, as you know, the new development in bathroom trends where they've eliminated the tub. You can imagine my dismay.
Worst. And then when you go to a hotel and they're
Sarah,
like, "Here's a shower."
You gave me that tip of saying I wanted a handicap room. Guess what?
What?
Now they do handicap accessible showers.
No.
Yes, and you can just wheel on in there.
Nope, I just used this trick recently and got myself a little.
Well, I'm sure it works some places.
Yes.
But the ones that are like newly renovated or whatever.
Dang.
They're on to us.
Yeah, because I had called the hotel and been like, do you think we can move to a, or, like while I was just checking in, I got to the room, I saw there was no bathtub, and I was like, let me call down and see if they can upgrade us to one with a bathtub. And they're like, yeah, that'll be an extra $100 a night. And I was like, ugh, no. So then like some hotels now have this like thing where they'll text you when you check in, like, if you need anything from the hotel or like if we can help you in any way, let us know. And so I just text them like, we didn't say this upon checking in, but we would love to move to a like handicap accessible room. And they're like, yeah, sure, no problem. And they moved us to that room. However, it was the same room with just a regular tub, not the fancy schmancy 2-person luxury spa
tub
experience.
Of love.
Nah, it was not that. And I was like,
wow.
Oh, well, I got my bathtub, but.
All right. I mean, take what you can get, but.
Yes. And every floor has them, so don't think I'm like taking it away from some, like, I even said that to Red. I was like,
oh my God,
should I
you're
feel
going to get a hate
guilty
mail
about how I'm like taking this away from, and he's like, no, you waited it till it was the evening, till after work, blah, blah, blah. Like, I just didn't want to like.
Wait, let me ask you, since we're on the subject, your opinion.
Yes.
With regards to handicap bathroom stalls.
Yes.
Are they exclusively for handicapped or anyone can use them, but they are, specially designed to accommodate handicapped people?
Oh, I mean, if it depends on which ones are open. I will go to the open one. It's interesting. Like, I'll never, ever, ever park in a handicapped parking space. And I think people who do are like, it's like so rude.
And it's illegal.
Of course.
Yeah.
And to think that you could just like pull up in front and be like, I'm just going to run in for 2 seconds and nobody's going to get, even if the whole parking lot is empty, I don't care. You don't do that. But I feel like with stalls, if there's like a line and that is available, then I'll go in there. But if there are other stalls open, then I'll use the other stalls before I would use the handicap space.
Okay.
The stall. Wheelchair accessible stall.
Right.
Yes. How about you?
Well, I guess that's my position as well, but I always feel like, am I supposed to not go in there at all under any circumstances?
But that's also often where they put the changing table, like the baby.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like, what is the...
Well, and if he's with me, then I got to go in there because
yeah,
there's like double trouble going on. But
totally.
I just wondered, like, is this considered gauche? Where
maybe we should ask somebody who is differently abled.
Yeah, please tell me. Am I an asshole?
Yeah. We would love, because this is one that maybe like doesn't often, like, you don't really get the chance to have that kind of discussion, and maybe the feeling is different for like, I don't know, who knows.
One time I was in there when I was dealing with my baby. And
I thought you were going to say dealing with my BM, and I was like, she's talking about everything today, aren't we? She's really open. Just get her to talk about poo, and she's an open book, people.
And, it took me a long time. And then when I came out, there was somebody in a wheelchair waiting, and I felt really bad. But on the other hand, as you said, a lot of times it is the only place with the koala changing and stuff like that. But it's kind of awkward. So, yeah, if you're differently able, let me know if I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that's all for today. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. Do you have something you want to say?
Well, no, but I feel like it's totally like on the subject, and I just have to throw it in here, that there's a new development out of the Mayo Clinic where they were successfully able to get a man who was quadriplegic after a surfing incident to walk again with stem cells from his stomach.
Wait, you're just dropping that all of a sudden?
I know. I just felt like we're just talking about wheelchairs, so I have to throw this little thing in.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
He can walk?
Yes. They were successful. There's a 10-person trial that's going on, and he was like, well, what do I have to lose? I'll sign up for it. And so the clinic that is like the Christopher Reeves Foundation is conducting this study, and they have had like mixed results with the patients, but there have been a few cases where it was very successful, and this man is one of them. And his name's Chris. I can't remember what his last name is. But Mohammed Baidan is the name of this surgeon, and he has successfully gotten this man to, he said it was really fast. Within a few hours and days, he was able to feel feeling in his legs again. And now he can walk unassisted for short periods of time. And within a week was able to tie his own shoes.
Can you even imagine?
His wife, they had discussed pulling the plug because he was quadriplegic, and his wife said, let's just hold on for a little bit longer and see. And then they were approached with the study, and now he's walking. And he was ready to pull the plug. Is that crazy or what?
Pulling the plug like he was going to die?
Like he was quadriplegic. Like I think maybe his wife had talked about if this maybe. I don't know what they were talking.
Wow,
they were kind of hinting
bonkers.
at that they had discussed that, and she was like, no, we have to keep trying for, and then
that's incredible. That's
isn't
great.
That cool?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll definitely link that article because I have it here and I've been super excited to, and I forgot to share the last time because I was too busy talking about tomatoes, but
Wow, you just at the last minute are like, oh, by the way, miracle happened.
Yeah, miracle, right? So I have to leave you guys on a high note,
Beautiful.
We were talking about that. So there you go. There's some good news for you.
Fantastic, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yay!